Hey, this is Bob from Flogging Molly, and you're tuned into The Grind on punkradiocast.com.
Hey, welcome back to The Grind, Volume 63 on punkradiocast.com. We're here in Saskatoon tonight with Bob from the Flogging Molly crew. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. We just drove a little while, so we're shaking the cobwebs out and trying to get going here. How has the Canadian tour been for you so far?
So far, it's been great. We just we've gotten to a lot of cities we've never been able to come out to before, so it's been a real. A lot of these fans have been waiting 4 or 5 years to have us up here, so it's been really fun.
Now, I have to ask, how was the drive from Thunder Bay to Winnipeg?
I slept the whole way, so
that's the way to do it.
I think it's the only way to do it.
And how was the turnout in Thunder Bay?
It was great, actually.
It was one of those places you hadn't played before?
Yeah, and we played in Thunder Bay. We played it was 2 days ago. So I'm trying to think what the name of the place was. I'll get back to that. But anyway,
a good turnout.
Yeah, a really good turnout. Surprisingly good, because a lot of these cities too, we have no experience of like how big a town is or anything like that. Thunder Bay's not. Oh, it was at the university.
Okay.
And so it was great. We played the kind of cafeteria area. It was kind of a funny show, but the crowd was fantastic. Yeah. So.
Now, you played Warped Tour earlier this year, did a West Coast as well. Mm-hmm. How has that been? Have you had a chance to have enough downtime to get back to where you need to be mentally before you continue your troubadour tour around the world?
Yeah, it's this year's actually been pretty good because we worked so hard last year. It kind of opened a lot of doors for us and allowed us to enjoy a little bit of the success that we hadn't seen before. So it has allowed us this year to kind of ramp it back a little bit and be able to kind of pick and choose what we're doing a little bit more selectively, and allows us this stuff like having the time to do this Canadian tour. Mm-hmm. So it's been a lot easier to have our batteries charged. We're only out for 2.5 weeks here and there, and then we're still doing a lot of little tours, but they're just not 5-week little tours. So.
Now, your most recent album, Float, came out last year. That was recorded in Ireland. Do you think that, looking back on that now, if you were to record that elsewhere, would that have the same feel of that album has now?
No, I think it was definitely. I mean, in a lot of ways, a lot of people say it's like our least Irish-sounding album, but I think in that way that is in that really. Like easy way, it's the least sounding Irish album. But I mean, if you put it up against stuff like Van Morrison or the Waterboys or bands like that, I think it's it has that same indefinable Irish quality to it. And but we don't have to rely so much, I think, on the like kind of hidey-diddly-day bits to get the point across. And I don't think that we would have been able to have that confidence or that foot in it to be able to have not relied on those kind of standby phrasings and things like that.
Now, previously, you, Flogging Molly, hadn't really had much exposure in Ireland itself.
No, not so much.
What is the response like now?
It's been great. We haven't done a tour there of just of Ireland since the album came out, but we did a show in Dublin that was fantastic, and we played the O2 Festival over there, the Oxygen Festival, and that was really good too. But we're hoping this year to be able to get over there for a week or two and kind of do what we're doing in Canada over there and see how much has changed. The kids over there are not really big fans of traditional music, so when they hear that your band incorporates traditional music, they're immediately like, oh, that must suck.
Yeah, we've grown up with that enough
exactly,
as it is.
Yeah. Oh, Granddad's music, awesome. So they, I think they've been a little slow to come around, and then when they're exposed to it, they seem to like it a lot. But I think it's also that thing of like Dave's the only guy from Ireland in the band, so a bunch of Yanks bringing Irish themed music over there.
Yeah,
not rubbing
stepping on some toes.
Yeah.
You recently had your album go gold.
One of your older albums.
Was that something that you expected to happen? So soon, I guess. I mean, it's been taken a while.
It's been a couple of years. Yeah, it's been 4 years or something, but or 5 years. But I don't know. It's great to think that there's that many people that have our music. So I think anytime you can look at that and think that 500,000 people wanted to buy something that you did, it's a pretty good feeling. As far as like how I knew it would eventually happen. I didn't really have a time frame for it.
It's probably not something that's on the forefront of your mind. I'm sure you're not one of those people that just go online all the time to see the latest review, and like you're just kind of just doing it for what it is.
Yeah, and it definitely, like, it feels great that happened, because there were so many people when we were starting this band up that were telling us, like, no one's gonna ever listen to this crap, and you'll never get it on the radio, and it's like, oh, it's Irish music, and, you know, have fun in your pubs, and you know, you'll never play clubs, you'll never do any of this other stuff. So to have a gold record to wave in their faces is pretty good.
Like, hey, check that out.
Hey, remember us?
For all those different places you've played, are there any places that you haven't had a chance to play yet that you would really like to bring the Flogging Molly sound to?
Oh, there's tons of places we haven't been yet, and Iceland, we want to get over to Iceland and do a show out there. I mean, most of Asia, we haven't only been to Japan. Mm-hmm. We'd like to get to China, you know, we'd like to get to Africa, South Africa. We've been trying to play in the Middle East, and, you know, like, at least get over to the troops or something over there and give those guys a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many more places for us to bring this stuff that it's just a matter of somebody wanting to open the door.
Yeah. No, I know it's always hard to answer this question, and whenever I start asking it, I always think, why the hell am I asking this? But for you personally, where was the most memorable show? Maybe not for the fans, but maybe something that meant more to you personally, where you played.
Well, I mean, just recently we did a show at Red Rocks, and I've been living in Colorado for the last 10 years or so in Boulder. And I mean, aside from the fact that Red Rocks is just one of those legendary places, like, I grew up watching the U2 live at Red Rocks, and Under a Blood Red Sky, and you know, just, it's one of those, you know, nationally known.
Just the place itself.
Yeah, if you live in America, you've always wanted to go see a show at Red Rocks, and so having it in my backyard for so long and having seen a couple of great shows there and stuff, and it was definitely, like, playing there was like a big deal. And, like, we've been fortunate this year. We played the Greek Theater in LA, which, growing up in LA, that was like another
very iconic,
landmark kind of places. And when the first time we played the Wiltern Theater, it was the same thing. Like, I remember as a kid going to see bands at those venues and never in a million years thought at that time, like, oh yeah, I'll be up there someday, you know. Like, and so to be able to do that and to be able to, like, take a minute in your head and just think about how long that road's been and how weird it's been to get you where you are. It's a trip.
Now, I imagine Flogging Molly being what you are, you've probably played a lot of different Irish bars all over the place. Has anything stood out? I mean, it's obviously there's nothing that is going to have the same amount of connection as you guys have to Molly Malone's.
Yeah.
But has there been anything that's been anywhere close to that?
Well, there's a pub that's like an old punk rock pub over in, or it just draws the punk rock crowd in Dublin, called the Foggy Dew, and that's been a really, like, whenever we're there, we'll go hang out at the Foggy Dew. It's been a really kind of like simpatico kind of vibe there. Now it's kind of like there are a lot of great old little Irish pubs around, and you know, we'll stumble into one every once in a while, and some of them are brand new. Like, there's one in Cleveland around the corner from the House of Blues called, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but it's just like a great big room, you know, and they've got a couple of Irish things lying around, but they just serve good beer and good food, and when we're done with the show, we'll just bring some junk over and kind of like do a little traditional session with me and Matt and Dennis maybe, and have some fun, and that's a great place. But I mean, nowadays, like, they've kind of co-opted that whole, you know, they just cart a container full of crap over from Ireland that they took from some city that it was, you know, like, you know, mowed down and remodeled, and they all kind of look the same now, so it's a little sad.
The true feeling within the clubs are just not there.
Yeah, I mean, Molly Malone's, like, it didn't look particularly Irish, except for that they had an Irish-American painter that had every square inch of that place had these paintings by this guy in there. He's a brilliant painter. But, I mean, there's probably 50, 60 paintings just filling up the walls of this place, and then over the stage is a painting he did of Molly Malone, and it's like, you know, he's a fantastic painter, but you wouldn't go in there and look around and think, oh, it's, you know, like you would today, where you go in and there's like, oh, it's a shillelagh on the wall, and there's, like, you know, a hand-carved Irish stump stool or all this other stuff. You know, it's just a pub, and there were Irish people there and lots of beer.
Sometimes those are the best places to be.